Hello and welcome to the live Q&A webinar that was hosted by the onboarding team here at When I Work. My name is Tori and I'm joined by my colleague Marie, and we're gonna just take about 30 minutes here to help just wherever you're at and When I Work, whether you've used us in the past, whether you're brand spanking new, whether you're in the middle of a trial and you got a prompt that says, hey, we have these Q&A webinars, and you signed up and you're here and you're not even sure what it is. We're glad you're here regardless of how you got here. I'm glad that you're able to join us, and we're excited to just help you just upgrade your level of knowledge and familiarity with When I Work and answer any questions. So after just a brief introduction here to me and Marie and our team and When I Work, we'll get into an account, and everything that we talk about today is going to basically be driven by your questions. So I quickly want to get the information on how you'll submit your questions and how we're going to address them and just the whole thing here in just a moment. So let's go to this slide. So this is how we're going to answer all of your questions. This is how the our time today is going to be directed. So just click that Q&A button at any point. If you have a question queued up or ready to go, just click that even right now as I'm telling you to do it, and start typing that out, send it in. And once we get into the main aspect, the main part of our webinar today, we will yeah, we'll read your questions and answer them, and direct us to just kind of highlight certain features and functionality of When I Work. So again, thanks for registering, whether you registered yourself or your boss did or a colleague did, and you're just here wondering, what is this person talking about? We're excited. We think When I Work is a great product. We listen to our users and our customers, and their feedback helps informs changes that we make in the future. And yeah, we're just trying to be a good company that fills a need for the majority of organizations that need to schedule or track time or both for their teams. And we're excited that you're here. So let's get into the meat. I'm gonna disable the normal chat just so we only have the option to do the Q&A for now. I'll enable the chat again towards the end. If you have any questions that are outside of just the scope of When I Work or anything. And we'll also make sure that we take time to highlight how, if you're in the trial period or you're thinking about starting a trial of our paid features with us, how to transition to a paid subscription plan. We'll get to that at some point or at the end, and also how to contact us. So if you haven't talked to the onboarding team yet, which is my team, Marie's team, um, we're here to help. Especially we're focused on new accounts, interested accounts, and trial accounts kind of come through to our team first, and we like to answer any questions up front that you have about When I Work, and then walk you through account setups. And this webinar is one of the ways that we do that, and try to get in touch with people and make sure that we can get them yeah, just a better understanding of When I Work. So let's transition into an account, and Marie will start kind of parsing through your questions and reading them out loud to me, and then I will answer them and show you the answer if I need to in the account that we'll be using. So here we go. So as you guys continue to send in your initial questions, and as questions come up as I'm saying something, you can just shoot, oh, can you dive a little bit more into that? Or I saw you highlight how to track time and timesheets. What are your different time clock options? Like, feel free to send those over. Marie will kind of, again, read through those and get them to me when we're looking for a new question to direct the next portion of the Q&A webinar today. And it's how we do it. So we got 30 minutes here to upgrade your knowledge. So I need to stop talking about what we're doing and start doing it. So really quick, I want to give you guys just a like a 5,000-foot overview of the scheduler. So I have just transitioned into our web application. So When I Work can be accessed from a computer browser a computer browser from our web app. So at app.wheniwork.com, if you just Google When I Work, you'll probably find a link pretty quick there to take you to it. You can log in with your credentials. If you have an account, you can see that this account is Friends TV show themed. So this is the one that I use for these webinars and demos. You can see that this one is actually in the middle of our 14-day trial, and you can see that there's a countdown up here that lets you know how much time is left. We've got the navigation bar up here, and that's just how you kind of get through the site and go to the different features and functionality and pages to review timesheets, time tracker, lock it as a time clock terminal. This is the scheduler. So if you're using When I Work to assign shifts to employees, or push them out to employees for them to assign to themselves, you will be here a lot, I'm assuming. This will probably be one of your main pages. And so I just want to point out a few things that, as a member of the onboarding team, I know can not cause confusion. I just want to add some clarification. So the first thing is that this little tab on the side can be collapsed. And so if it's collapsed, if you hover over it, it'll show back up. But I do have a lot of questions, especially lately, saying, how do I publish my chefs? And like, it's just because this button or this window has been collapsed at some point, and there's not just that big button that says, hey, publish your shifts right here. And speaking of that, when all the shifts are published, this will be gray. And if there are some shifts unpublished, you'll see a different color up there in that button. I want to highlight that. So how you page forward, we're in week view of this scheduler. How you page back and forward into past weeks or future weeks in this view or in any view is just using these buttons up here. If you click the calendar icon, you can just quickly kind of page through to go to a specific spot. So if I page forward to next week, you'll see that these top shifts have been published. They are solid. That means they are kind of official shifts. That means any employee can see published shifts. The employees would not be able to see these striped shifts. These are unpublished shifts. So that means that it's kind of in rough draft mode. And when the schedule needs to be published in the old days, if you're using an Excel sheet, that means like you're printing it out and posting it in the back rooms. That's why we kind of use the terminology like publish the schedule. So if you have shifts that are striped in your scheduler, those are unpublished shifts. Only schedule managers in the account can view those. And you'll see that button turned mustard colored up there. And that means that some shifts are published and some aren't. And to publish the rest of these shifts, you would just click that button and boom, schedule notifications have been successfully sent. All the shifts are clear and we see that everything is published. If you go into a fresh week, so I'm paged forward 3 weeks now or 2 weeks ahead, you'll see there's no shifts to publish. If I wanted to load shifts in, we do have a couple shortcuts. This wrench icon is just one I want to highlight, and I won't get into all of the details here because I want to get to your questions very shortly. But I do just want to highlight that like you can edit multiple shifts, you can copy shifts from the previous week, you can clear all the shifts on the schedule if they don't need to be there. You can also save all the shifts as a template. So instead of just saving like one shift as a template that you can load into the schedule, which we have a feature for that, you can save all the shifts you have in a schedule and load it into any week in the scheduler. And I've already done that. So I'm actually going to just show you really quickly what that looks like. So I'm going to just load this template and then we'll get to questions. Standard coverage, boom, we're seeing all the shifts here. I can choose if I want to overwrite conflicts. So if there was already shifts present in this week or time off, I can pick from these options depending on what I want to do. You can load all of the shifts up in the open shifts row so they're not assigned to anybody and either publish them out for your team to grab as they're qualified for them, or you can just load them there, keep them unpublished, and either drag and drop them straight down to an eligible person, or if you have unpublished open shifts in this green row, this open shifts row, you can also use our auto assign shifts. There's some additional options you can select, but for sake of time, I'm just going to run it. And it'll distribute those shifts out based on an algorithm that starts with like position qualifications of the employee's profile and the shift itself, and it'll just assign them out. If you don't like how it assigned them out, you can say, nope, I don't want to do that, and click basically undo here, revert, or you can save shifts and then be like, ooh, we still have some that need to be filled in. Let's just drag these down to here. And even though Joey's not qualified for a server, he's going to work that job, and boom. So that's just a really quick overview of some of the tools. There's more shortcuts and functions available, but I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with what I would consider When I Work's main functionality there. Just a little bit more than you might have already been. So thanks for hanging with me through the intro. So Marie, I'm ready for a question.
Awesome. Thanks, Tori, and welcome everyone. The first question I thought I would pull out is a great question for setting up your account and setting up your employees in the account. And Julia asks, can I set someone else up in the system to help me manage the When I Work account, or is it just me managing all my employees?
Yes, I love it when we get questions like this, especially towards the beginning, because I think access levels or roles are just very important. Because a lot of people are like, "So I have like employees, but and like they're going to help me with the schedule, but like, can we give them just that access, but maybe not access to view like rate information for their coworkers, stuff like that." And When I Work has thought of that, and we've been updating kind of different things about the different access levels to give more some customization, and there's also more to come than what I'm going to highlight really quickly right here. Um, so there we go. That's how you click into a window. So I'm going to go to the employees page. So as I highlighted earlier, this is the navigation bar. So to get to the employees page, you're going to hover over this workplace menu. So if you're ever talking to our team, the onboarding team, or the customer care team, um, if anybody references the workplace menu, this is what they're talking about. Some people say it looks like Toad from the Mario video game franchise. It's supposed to just be a small kind of small town general store icon. Requests are right here. So request time off request, requests, open shift requests. That's just a file tray icon. And this is the gear menu. So this is going to be like if you're an admin or a manager on an account, if your profile is that, which I'm going to explain really briefly those four access levels after I get us to the employees page. But you would have access to the settings pages. So you would have see the gear menu here. So file tray menu, workplace menu, and gear menu. So if you ever hear those terms, that's what we're talking about. So let's get to the employees page. So this is where you manage employees. You can see here we have a pending employee who's requested to join the account. So they've created an account or a user account on their own end, and they're like, "Hey, I want to have access to my workplace account, so you can schedule me. I can see my schedule, the whole shebang." And it'll show up in a green here at the top row. And if this is, "Hey, I know Will, I've just hired him. I need him in when I work," you just click this button, and boom, he'll be an official employee. But above each profile, you will see the access level or their role in the account. So there's four different levels. We got employee, supervisor, manager, and admin. And I just listed them in ascending order from like what they can do or what permissions they have to the most, like the least amount of positions to or permissions to the most amount of permissions. So like a supervisor can only manage employees in like shifts in the schedules that they've been assigned to. So you can see Rachel, there's a which is assigned to all schedules, but I don't think I have any schedule. Oh, no, I do have a schedule two from a previous demo where I was highlighting how to add an extra schedule if you want more than one in your account. So a supervisor would only be able to view employees that are assigned to a common schedule as them. And that's one of the major differences between supervisor and manager. Outside of supervisors, by default can't view employee rate information in when I work, but that can be given to them in their profile. So that's just another kind of unique difference between supervisor and manager. Supervisors also don't have access to all of these pages that I just highlighted, the settings pages, all this stuff. Only managers and admins would. Admin is the top of the top. They have all permissions in the account to change the plan, change how many user spots you're paying for, like the whole shebang. There can be up to 3 people that have the admin role on a workplace account at this time. So the answer to your question is yes, we have many different access levels. You do not have to do everything alone as the admin. And we have a great guide in our help center. If you can access our help center by clicking this neat help. You can view the help center, you can navigate to it. I mentioned contacting the onboarding team, and this little button, you'll see this during your trial, that it basically almost always will send you directly to my team. And as I said at the beginning, we are a team specifically designed to help interested customers and trial accounts just get everything set up the way they want it, the way they think it can work best for them right away. So you're not like doing anything and realize that, oh, when I work has an auto assign shifts function and we've never used it and we've been scheduling this way for 3 months. This would have saved us a lot of time. Like my team is here to save you a lot of time up front. So do not hesitate to click this little chat button and talk to us. You'll actually, oh, there, you can see me hiding right here. And I think Marie's hiding somewhere back there too. But yes, so that's how you talk to us on the onboarding team. We have pretty typical office hours for the central time zone. GMT, I think, is it -6? And so we're around 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Central Time on weekdays. If you have a question and you get like you reach out to us and it's like, hey, we'll be back on Monday or we'll be back after Labor Day or whatever, and if you have like an immediate question, our customer care team has expanded hours than ours. And so if you have like a very time sensitive question about your trial or whatnot, please click the Need Help tab and submit a ticket to our customer care team. Once your account has transitioned from a trial account to a paid subscription, you'll also be able to chat with our customer care team through their chat interface. So on the trial, you wouldn't be able to do this, but on once you're on a paid subscription plan, you can chat with us. And I'm not saying you can't contact the onboarding team, um, but basically like any questions that come up once you're on the plan will is like we kind of hand you off lovingly to the care team. I was a member of the care team for 2 years, so I know that they're great and they love helping people just as much as the onboarding team does. So that was a long answer to are there different access levels and when I work, but hopefully all the information was healthy. So Marie, let's get another one.
Awesome. The next question is from Beth, and she has a couple of questions. So I'm just going to kind of combine them. She asks, we would like to see how to send out a basic monthly schedule. And is there a way to set up multiple locations on this schedule?
Woo. All right, so I'm going to interpret send up as like publish out. And so that is an excellent question, especially building off kind of the things I highlighted towards the beginning. So if you need to publish shifts outside of the range of time you're viewing, and before I get there, we have day view, week view, 2 week view, and month view. So you can navigate to month view, view all the shifts that you need to publish in month view, and click the publish and notify and push out or send out all shifts for an entire month. Let's say you can schedule out your entire year and you just want to get that done on a Tuesday afternoon. You can also do that through those shortcuts I talked about with like the templates or copying shifts from the previous week to the next week. When I work also allows you to set shifts to repeat for up to 1 year, and that's again pretty apparent process here in the edit shift. So once you have a shift in there and you're like, ooh, Phoebe's going to actually work this every Monday for the next 12 months, boom, repeat shift. When do I want it to end? Let's go. But I'm not going to do it. But that's how easy it is to make a shift show up every week. And there's actually options for intervals. So you can do it every week to every 6 weeks. So again, ton of shortcuts for you guys to save time. And if you want to publish shifts beyond 1 month at a time or 1 week at a time, clicking that little down arrow on the publish button up here, regardless of what color it is, will open the advanced publishing options. So this is where you can adjust the date range of the shifts you want to publish. You can add a personal message or whatever. If it's like, hey, I'm publishing these shifts out for the next 6 months, like subject to change after the next 2 weeks, just in case something comes up, like stuff like that. So yeah, so definitely check out the advanced publishing options for that. And then your second question was about locations. And I love that question. And it seems to come up in most demos and a lot of conversations that we have on the onboarding team, because there's businesses that either have people working from home or multiple locations. Like, and again, I've got a coffee shop. So if you have multiple locations or maybe multiple departments within like a golf course or something, there's just many different reasons that a shift would take place at a different location. And I would love to quickly is asterisk Tori's version of quickly, describe kind of the two main ways, and then also highlight a resource that can help you decide which way you want to go on your own, or you can reach out to us and kind of tell us your specific situation after the webinar, and we can kind of walk you through what we would suggest based on the information that you provide. So in this account that I have set up here, I have actually set it up to show one way to do this. And so Joey's shifts are technically not at the same location as the rest of the shifts. So this is a Friends themed account. Everybody works at Central Perk, but Joey works down the street at the roasting facility and not actually at the coffee shop. So what I've done on this account is I've kept everybody in one main schedule so I can see the full schedule regardless of the location of their shift. But I assigned a job site. So I had created a job site for the roasting facility in the account, and I assigned the job site to his shifts. And so now when he clocks in, if I have like location restrictions, so if I want my employees to be within 500 meters of the location before they're allowed to clock in, So Joey would only be able to clock in if he was within that range of the roasting facility's address. And so that's how job sites work. And so that like a lot of people, if in certain situations, like to have one main schedule and use job sites, and you can actually color code your shifts in a few different ways. And right now we're viewing just the color that I've assigned to the shift, but you can view the color assigned to the position of the shift. You can view the color assigned to the job site. So if you're going this method of, one schedule and job sites, this is a good view shift colors by to like really highlight visually which shifts are taking place where. And then I do really want to quickly want to highlight how this would look to a certain extent if you were using multiple schedules in the account to designate locations. So in this account, I have created a schedule because I was showing someone last week when I was running this Q&A webinar how to create a brand new schedule in the account. It's really easy. You can actually see the button right below schedule too. So that's one way to add a new entire schedule to the account to designate a location. I am actually going to just switch workplaces because I've created a kind of a clone of this workplace account just with a different setup, just to highlight this exact question. All right, so central perk, multiple schedules. Ooh, I should tell you what I'm doing right now. So if you end up having separate workplace accounts, which there are valid reasons to do, and you manage like, I own 4 different stores, but I don't want them all in the same account. The billing needs to separate, so I have 4 separate workplace accounts that I'm the admin in. I just kind of highlighted how you switch between workplaces. So you just hover over your picture, click switch workplaces, and then boom, you will see all the accounts that are active right now that you have an active profile on right now, and then you can just switch between them. So that's a really quick free nugget on using when I work with multiple things. But question at hand, what does it look like if I have multiple schedules? All right, so here is central perk. I'm going to a week with shifts. You can see it looks a little different, but so I have Joey. So here Joey's shifts are assigned to a different schedule in the account. So we have a central perk schedule and a roasting facility schedule instead of one main schedule. So since Joey's assigned to both schedules, and I'll show you what that looks like. And here's actually a quick shortcut on how to get to Joey's profile, just so you can edit anything you need to edit. If you click this little arrow, you'll see a bunch of other cool options. You can unpublish just Joey's shifts. You can edit just that person's availability. Like it just takes you to all that place, or all those places really, really quick. But we're going to pull up his profile. And this is how you would assign him to different schedules, assign a profile to different positions in the account. And we also have a tags designation, which is kind of like an extra layer of like qualifications for a shift that like just a position. Like let's say for this one, we have an inventory position, but you need to be trained on how to do inventory. So, and there's 2 different levels. Like there's like end of year inventory that the GM needs to do. And then there's like monthly inventory that a supervisor needs to do. So like you could create, instead of creating 2 different positions for inventory, you could create tags that's like monthly or annually and assign that to a shift. And then that would make sure that your team is assigning that to a qualified person. So think of tags as just like an additional qualification or condition that you can add to a shift that the person that you're either assigning the shift or that you would like to work the shift would need to have in their profile. Or there'd be like a warning that's saying, hey, this person's not certified for this job. So back to the question. So so you'll see the shifts that are on the schedule we're viewing. So we're viewing the central perk schedule here are bold, are colorful, are solid. And then you'll see the shifts that are at the other schedule are gray. And I can't even like click them. It looks like it doesn't even pull out. Like, what's going on? Why aren't I clicking these shifts? It's because while you can see shifts assigned to other schedules when you're viewing the other schedules, you cannot interact with them. You can only interact with them on the schedules they have been assigned to. So you'll see when I click the roasting facility that Joey's shifts go solid color. We are viewing the roasting facility schedule. That's where Joey's shifts are assigned to. The reason that other shifts show up when you're viewing the other schedules just to make sure that you don't overbook them. So like if I couldn't see Monica's shifts here and I was looking at the roasting facility and I see that Joey called in sick and I know that he can't work it's Monday or whatever, and I'm like, oh, here, that's good for Monica. Like if I didn't see that shift, then I've just like overscheduled her to it. And again, this is just an example. I'm not saying all these times work out for that hypothetical example, but I just wanted to give you a visual kind of basic view of like what the difference is. Some people really like having completely separate schedules to designate locations and very set team. teams, if you have a lot of teams that kind of work different locations, sometimes it's better to go with the main schedule and job sites, just because you're going to have people kind of go into different places, and just having a full picture is nice. So just wanted to highlight that. We'll go back to my main demo account, the single schedule account, now for the rest of these questions. All right, Marie, we got 5-6 minutes. Let's go with a couple more questions. Let's see if I can rocket fire answer them.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we go over the attendance tool. And Vanessa asks or says, timesheets is the most important functionality for my team. Can you do a quick overview of that?
Oh, absolutely. Um, this is, I don't know how I got here. I must have clicked something while I was listening to Marie, but this is the dashboard page. And if you have a brand new account, it kind of has a basic guide that'll walk you through. So you can even see here, like, ooh, in this account, I've done everything but export timesheets. And so you can click that and it'll take you right there. But our attendance platform, so when I work, like, we are a scheduling platform, and we also have time clocks and attendance, a time clock and attendance platform that is an optional add-on. So any account in our system is going to have access to our scheduling tools. You do not have to utilize those. You do not have to create shifts like I've shown you. You can just use the attendance product and functionality if you'd like. You also don't have to, if you have your own time clock method and way that your team's recording their hours and it works great. You do not have to. We will not force you to use our attendance. I would recommend it just because, since it's all in when I work, it works in conjunction really great. Like our scheduling tool and our attendance tool all sync like on the back end or whatever. And I just want to quickly highlight one of the things that I think is awesome about how those two things work together. Let's say last week. So I'm in the timesheets page here. So I hovered over attendance. I'm an admin. So if you're an admin, manager, or supervisor, you'd be able to click on and view timesheets, the appropriate timesheets in the account. So I click that. I'm on the timesheets. I can select the pay period to review. So I'm going to select last week's pay period. And look, oh, Phoebe forgot to clock in on the Friday before Labor Day. I'll give her a break and not fire her, but I do want to make sure that she is paid and accurately recorded. So I can click show shifts up here. And since I have an assigned shift for Phoebe for that day that she forgot to clock into or had an issue or whatever, I can just click with one click of a button instead of typing in all the details. And for some accounts, there can be 6 different things here and a note that you have to add. Like, boom, it just added her shift times directly into it. All the totals are there in one click. So just, there's lots of stuff like that. And when I say, hey, our two platforms work together on the back end, and for this reason, if you're on a trial, we actually just let you check out our attendance tool for absolutely free during the trial to see if it's something that you like. And so I'm going to be fully clear with you. We'd love for you to use When I Work's attendance tools, but we totally understand that there's other options available and options that your business might have been using for a long time. So while it's available during the trial, you can always disable it when you're checking out. And then, yeah, so like I've kind of just highlighted as I'm talking just some of the things. So you can like edit, as an admin, you can go in and edit pretty much anything in here, except for time off. Time off can't be edited if it's been submitted. It needs to be canceled and remade, just because we want to make sure that there's no like last minute changes to the time off right before it gets approved. And then somebody doesn't see the first email. So we just decided, let's just cut it on. Like if a time off was submitted that was wrong, make it to be canceled or denied and resubmitted, just so everybody knows that everything, like any changes that were going to be made. So other than time off, you can, as an admin, you can adjust pretty much anything, including like if you get in and you edit the pay period dates, you're like, I set it to a week, but it's running Friday to Saturday instead of, or Friday to Thursday instead of Saturday to Friday. You can edit the pay period dates there. I'm trying to think of any other quick things about the attendance platform that I want to highlight. Oh, yes. Once you're done, once a pay period is over, and you can see there's weekly pay periods here, you can close it out and export all of that data. So that's just kind of the summary. So there's normal export options that will give you like shift details, like when they clocked in, when they clocked out, what the position, all that stuff. And then once the pay period is closed and you close out the pay period, you'll see this summary here, and you can export or print just the summary. So, and then this is also if you're interested in one of our integrations with the payroll processor. If you click export and you have a payroll integration set up, or you don't, you can click one right here to set it up, and you'd see like the options. So if we set up like an ADP workforce integration and we wanted to send all of our pay period data over to Gusto or ADP or Paychex, it's literally in most cases just like a click of the button and a few minutes of it waiting to say, hey, everything's good, just depending on how much data is getting sent over. So There's a pretty quick overview of, I think, most of the important things about our attendance platform. We have 1 minute here. I'm totally down for going a little over, but I know that you guys are busy people who have lots to do. So I want to highlight one last thing, and then I think I'll do one or two more questions if you're willing to hang with us for about 3 to 5 more minutes. So important thing out of the way, a couple bonus questions. So if you are ready, so if this is saying 0 and it's saying, hey, account's disabled, your trial's over, or you're seeing it say 1 and you're like, oh no, the trial's over, what's going on? The first thing is that no data you have in the account will be lost if the trial ends before you've exported it or transitioned to a paid plan. So let's just all just take a deep breath. There's no anxiety. It'll save there, and we will either be able to give you access to it regardless of if you're going to use us or move to a paid plan. Like, so we try not to just take things from you. Like, this is a partnership. We have a good product that we think helps businesses save money, connect with their team, give them buy-in to the process, give employees ownership, give managers just a total view and accountability of their system situation. So like, we want this to be great. We want this to work for you. And this can be a beautiful relationship. So, but if you are ready to transition to a paid plan, you can either just click that widget or use the gear icon and go to the account and billing page. And then here you'd click, boom, upgrade my account. You'd be brought to this page. If the trial disables and then you log in next and you're an admin, you'll see, oh, that your trial's ended, and you'll be magically brought to this exact page. And then this is where you can check out. So you can adjust some of the details. So if you do not want the time clock and attendance, that can be toggled off here. If you know you're going to be using When I Work, you're like, oh, the trial was awesome, I love it, we'll definitely give When I Work 12 months of our attention and see if we still love it in 12 months. And you know that you're not going to be doing many big changes in like employee numbers or anything. Like you don't have a seasonal business is what I'm getting at. Do an annual billing. You can get 5% discount compared to the month to month. So you can toggle that on, click check out. And this is where you enter your billing information. User spots are batched in increments of 5. And this was, they used to be in 10, but we brought it down to 5 based on user feedback. So I'm telling you, it wasn't just blowing smoke saying that. We listened to our people. But yeah, we do. So it's a subscription-based service, and then part of the determining factor of the subscription price is how many people need access or need profiles in the account. And so instead of like the bottom line changing for every time somebody's profile gets added or archived, we've just decided that like batching them in like, again, increments of 5 right now is just the best way to do that. So if you need to add more, if you're trying to add an employee and it's like, oh, you're at your limit and you're an admin, it'll bring you to this page to adjust the user spot number. When you're checking out, if you are like, I only have 6 profiles in here, why is it only letting me pay for 10? Like, you're not paying for your active users, you're paying for an amount of user spots to accommodate how many people you need in your account. So I just wanted to clear that up. But once you get all that information in there, set the appropriate settings here, you click purchase and boom, you're on a paid plan. You're part of the When I Work family officially. You can chat with our customer care. Yeah, and it's the start of a beautiful relationship, hopefully. So Marie, let's do one more question so we can get these people back to what they need to do on their end, or connecting with us on the onboarding team with any more questions that maybe we didn't get to here.
Awesome. I really think that a couple people would enjoy going over the availability tool, how employees can add
Yes.
that, and then how you can see it on the schedule.
Perfect. That's a great one. You're like, what can I say that won't make Tori talk for 20 minutes about it? No, I love, like, I'm serious. I really do like When I Work. I like, we use it on our team to clock in and everything. So not only do we talk to people about it and want them to get familiar with it and love it, like we also use it. So like, this isn't, again, we're just, I don't know, we're all humans and we're all just trying to do the best we can. I think When I Work's awesome. I'm not lying to you. It might not work for everybody. We know that it doesn't fit all business needs, but darn it, I think we're pretty close to fitting most needs. So please ask any questions. There are no silly questions, especially directed towards the onboarding team. So availability question, or availability. So the availability feature is just a way for employees to communicate when they prefer to work or not to work. And so you can edit and view your availability by just hovering over your workplace or your profile picture and clicking my availability. And then if you're an admin or a manager on this page, you can select anybody in the account to view and add their availability. You can see I don't have any preferences here. To add a preference, it's pretty straightforward. It's a lot like creating a shift. There's also different options for whether it's all day preference or like a week, whether it repeats every day, week, or 1 to 2 weeks. So there's a lot of customizations. So let's add one right here. So all day. Let's not make it repeat, and let's make it for this Friday. And then let's do a partial preference. So this is not, we're actually going to do, so the last one was an unavailable to work, and now we're going to do I prefer to work. And just do a partial preference. And then now let's look and see what it looks like in the scheduler. So that's how like an employee from the web app or you as an admin adding it for an employee would look like. And then let's go see. All right. So Monica just entered that she's unavailable. Oh no. And that she is available on Saturday. And so you'll see when somebody's unavailable, I'm actually gonna change the shift colors just so that's more apparent, because when they're gray, it blends in a little bit. So yeah, you can see that it makes it very apparent that, hey, this person is not available for that shift. So if you were like assigning that shift, it'd be very clear that like they can't work. Why you see the thumbs up there is because she's qualified for that position. So the thumbs up is about position qualification or tags qualification and not about availability. So a partial day preference just kind of shows a little tag in the corner there. And if you hover over it, it'll see 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. is when she says she prefers to work on Saturday. So there's a quick overview of availability. It's also very manageable. And I don't know if we spent a ton of time in our general or in our settings here, but I do want to just highlight just how to adjust that. So like if you can toggle the availability preferences on or off. If they're toggled off, that doesn't mean they disappear. It just means that only higher access level users in the account can view, add, or edit availability preferences. For employees, they wouldn't be able to add or edit their own preferences. So you can toggle that off whenever you want. You can say, ooh, I don't want them to change their availability the day before a shift and say, oh, I wasn't able to work there. Why'd you schedule me? You can create a day's notice required for unavailable changes for that purpose. So boom, availability. Marie, is there anything? I know we're about 6 minutes over, but we still have people here, so you must have wanted some overtime questions. I'm glad you guys are still around. Marie, is there anything else you want to highlight or that we should highlight?
I think we've gone over everything that most people wanted to. I was able to type out some answers that we didn't get
Perfect.
to. So I think we actually got to everything, but
Yes!
in highlighting how everyone can get in contact with us in case their question wasn't answered or if they have another question, that'd be great
For
now
sure.
too.
Yeah. Yep. So again, I want to just highlight this one time because I'm somebody that can drift off in the middle of a webinar and miss some important information. So repeating myself is never a bad thing, hopefully for you. But yes, so if you want to talk to the onboarding team before or during your trial, this is the best way to do it, is from the web app. Send us a message. We will, if we're not live at that time, you should get a little note that says, hey, we'll be back at 7:30 tomorrow, or we'll be back in an hour if there's like a company meeting or something. We're usually around, guys. So when I say this, I'm just trying to let you know that in the rare instance that you're not able to get a hold of us, that we will respond as quickly as we can the next day, because we like helping people and we like sharing the awesomeness of, or what we perceive as the awesomeness of When I Work, to as many people as possible. And I want to thank everyone again for just showing up, regardless of where, if this is the end of our relationship and you're not going to chat with us and we're not going to talk, like just the fact that we're all here for 35 minutes connecting on a common cause is pretty cool. And when you think of the scope of the world right now, and it seems that so many places are divided and falling apart. So we just came together as human beings for almost 40 minutes and just kind of, I don't know, had a common goal. We all wanted to just learn more about each other and about When I Work and about something that can make your job easier, hopefully. And we got to talk about that. So that's special, regardless of where this goes. So I just want to thank you all again for showing up and for checking out When I Work, and extend an invitation that if we didn't answer your question in the way you were looking for, or I misinterpreted something Marie said or whatever, we are still here. And you could probably chat with both Marie and I in like 10 minutes when we're online after we finish up this the webinar here. So you all are great. I'm excited that you're interested in When I Work, and I hope that I get to chat with you at some point in the near future.